Welcome to the world of Q&Asa, where the past, present, and future of gaming converge, because I enjoy all of it. The ancient stuff, the stuff in the VR, and the stuff that's releasing day by day. This is the new time slot of about 7:15 on a Saturday, which is an accident. It was supposed to be 7 o'clock on a Saturday. It's going to be a slightly more limited show than usual because I broke everything. But I hope you're all having fantastic weekends. I hope you're all doing well, and you know that you got lots of game stuff to talk about. Why have we got a sad face? What's happening? Who's sad? Why are we sad? You have a migraine. That's a fair reason to be sad. I see a few people are already here at this new time slot, so thank you for coming along and joining me. For those that don't know, and it is the rare occasion where I actually even put something on the Twitter to say there is a show, so there might be some more people come around than usual. This show is a bit different to the usual podcast and things. This show is a big conversation, very much just nice and relaxed. You talk to me, talk to each other, and we'll see how the conversation flows and how it goes. I need to try and remember to finish by about 8:30, because I've got various things broken that are going to stop me from playing in the community games at 9 o'clock if I don't get shit together. So I need some fixing time. Trying to figure out the game in the background. What a mystery. You'll get it. You'll get it. I also half-assed that a little bit today, I'm afraid. And I've got no audio myself, so I can't hear the OST that you can hear. And I wouldn't be able to hear any calls on Discord, which is why I can't do that at the moment. There's also, yes, Isla, please do the questions. I'm afraid we'll have that little audio delay. In fact, I can, for you, I am going to pop into the Discord so that you can hear ahead of time and put the questions up and stuff, but I won't be able to hear anything myself. So I'm going to pop into the usual place just there. That's technical background noise that the rest of you don't need to worry about. And Isla's angry at me. So everybody else, try and remain a little more chill and be nice to me. So it's been a difficult lifetime. Week, whatever. Let's talk about some games. That's what I like to do. No, I was going through the running order of this show and how it works. So it is just a big conversation. I get sidetracked a lot, as you've seen right there, because that's just how this one runs. We talk about games and stuff. If that's not good enough, if you're not getting the attention that you need, you can throw money on the internet with super chats and things. They will get picked up, and usually I get a little sound alert to make sure I picked it up, but I'll still pick it up. You can do that if you want to. You definitely don't have to. There's also ordinarily options for Discord chats. So normally I invite people to just come on to the Discord and stick your face and your voice and whatever else you want onto, not whatever else you want, but stick yourself onto the internet and talk to me and everybody else that's here. I can't do that today. Is that even true? Technically I could probably figure out a way to do that today if anybody was desperate to come on and show your face and stuff. But it would mean putting on my big chunky headset and finding that. The other things that you can do, there is the YouTube Q&A box. You can stick whatever you want in there. And at the end of the show, I will address everything that is there. So be it questions or otherwise. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer absolutely everything that you ask. But, you know, I answer most things. And we get some interesting conversations out of it. What else? What else? Gaming with Passion, Demon Hunter, you are absolutely correct that it is Spider-Man 2 in the background. In fact, I'm not sure. I can't remember if this one actually had Spider-Man in it somewhere. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Different one, different background. I have a lot of backgrounds from that game because I had quite a handy photo mode to capture them. Anyway, I'm just getting a lemon sip. That is fine. We're going to start like we always do, which is talking about games. It's weird not having my music. I can normally hear music and it makes the show easier. We're going to talk about games anyway. So tell me, everybody, what have you been playing? And I haven't done Q&A, so normally it was on a Wednesday, but I skipped the most recent Wednesday, so it's been freaking ages, which means you've got like a long bunch of time, long period of time to have played some games and to tell me about them. You've been playing a bunch of Humanity, but you kind of hate it. Pete's the other one that plays Humanity. He said he's going to be late today, so... And you're stressed about Minecraft? Games aren't supposed to cause you that kind of stress. Relax, burn them all, set fire to all of the games. Chronix can't be Spider-Man. You say a big puddle, you see a big puddle. Yeah, but they changed the reflections on it. That's the key. No, it is Spider-Man. It is Spider-Man, and I like those games. It's been quite a long time since I played Spider-Man. It's not there in the background for any particular reason. I just had to pick something quickly because I was really late. So sometimes I pick a background that has some relevance to what we're talking about for the week, or from what I've been playing, or something like that. But this is just one from the collection I just threw up there. And the OST that's playing is also probably not that relevant, more so than Spider-Man though. So, how am I going to play games this evening? Everything's broken. Tell me more things. Tell me what you've been playing. I've been playing not very much. I've been playing an awful lot of Final Fantasy. Painful Discourse, you've been playing Shadow of the Erdtree, and it is awesome. Is it difficult? Is it more difficult than base Elden Ring? And is Eurogamer's criticism of it fair? So Eurogamer said that it wasn't like piquing curiosity in the same way. It wasn't as open. It was more direct in its storytelling. Did they have any kind of point? I've not read their review. I just saw the bits and pieces that were upsetting people. When there's an outlier on the scores, it upsets people, because that's the world we live in. I fired up Elden Ring yesterday. I only literally fired it up to have a look because Darge was in Discord talking about what level he's got to on Elden Ring, and he said he was like 107. He only started playing it a week ago or something. He was well behind where I was. I looked at him playing when he was streaming it and thought, oh, little baby, he's way behind. And then he said he's level 107, and I was like, oh, he must have played a lot off stream, because that's way ahead of where I was. So I went to I logged on to it. I'm in the round table base home area, whatever. Just logged onto there to have a look at my character. Didn't recognize any of my equipment really, except I've still got my nice flail. And it said I was level 51 or something, and that I played it for 49 hours. So I have done a fair amount of Elden Ring. T-Rex was mocking, he was rocking Minecraft VR earlier. Tony uploaded some of his antics, looked pretty cool. Yeah, I'm tempted to. So there is a Minecraft server up and running at the moment with a minimal amount of mods and a ray tracing resource pack, so that you can push the hardware a little bit and make it look a little bit more fancy. But that's also playable in VR, so I quite fancy having a little run around there at some point in all of the different modes. Because I've never been a proper Minecraft person. I've never actually learned the game, so I actually want to, you know, start from zero and see if I can actually have fun with it. That'll happen soon. And once I've done that, once I've got to the more grand, dangerous areas, then I'll stick on a VR headset and have a look at it properly. It's an unexpected experience in VR, because you look at it on screen and it's all these little blocks, and you look at it in VR and these little blocks are like nipple high for a single block. Like, they're freaking huge. The scale of it is not how it comes across on screen whatsoever. Everything is dramatic. Demon Hunter, you did not play Minecraft, but you'll give it a go in VR and on. Yeah, it's worth, like, it pretty much pioneered the survival genre. It is interesting. All blocks are a meter cubed, but they don't, like, that's not the perspective that you get looking at it on a screen, or it's not to me anyway. Everything just looked way smaller like that. But when you put it on, they are a meter squared. When you have yourself as a point of comparison at that point, and you go like a meter up my body, that's where my first set of nipples are, like I said. So, nipple high. Can you play using the Game Pass version? As far as I know, you can. Gaming with Passion. I actually can't. I don't know how you launch it into VR anymore. Yes, it's definitely possible. There are instructions around on how to do it, but it's not a big glowing button that it used to be, or whatever. You used to be able to. In fact, when it launched, you'd get to it from the Windows Mixed Reality portal that doesn't exist anymore. And now I think it's more a case of like a launch argument or something like that. But it should work with the Game Pass version. Yeah, it is still supported. It's still a thing. Everything looked very in your face, absolutely. James, you've been playing Final Fantasy 14, you're level 50 on 8 skills now. I thought you were just doing that for a little bit, and then you were going to do it where you push one of the classes to a high level so that the other ones are quicker. You're grinding like the hardest way to do it, the slowest, hardest way to grind. Because you never want to play anything else. But it's good that the dungeons are getting harder. more mechanics to learn. So long as the community remains friendly, then that's a positive. It's not nice doing more difficult content if you're playing with like the World of Warcraft community that are a bunch of arseholes. Oh, I want to play that. I want to play World of Warcraft without the arseholes. Why don't 4 of you play World of Warcraft with me? Or, like, you know, 39 of you. Whatever we need. Painful discourse, you're not sure where the not engaging point comes from. I don't think they said it was not engaging. They just said that it wasn't, like, it didn't encourage curiosity in the same way. Because it tells you things more directly. That's the Elden Ring DLC. Again, I've not seen it, so I don't know. Don't know what they're talking about necessarily. I know that like base Elden Ring did that very well. It was just very open and like figure it out for yourself. Go exploring, see what you find. Well, the DLC is still supposed to be big, so I don't know. I'll get to it and see. Colin Prime, you're not an asshole, so you're going to play World of Warcraft with me. Awesome, thank you. Are you? What continent are you on, Colin Prime? This is one of the most difficult things about World of Warcraft, is it doesn't play nicely across continents. Which makes it harder, because half the people I know are stateside and half the people are Europe side that are actually interested in Warcraft. Noises going on beside me, weird noises. What else? Tell me more things you've been playing. I've been playing loads and loads of Final Fantasy. I'm playing 3 Final Fantasy 7s at the same time, and it's a little bit hard to track because I go between them and I can't remember like my vague strategies and roles for the characters that I've set. I've got Final Fantasy 7 original, so Xbox version of it, but the original, you know, ancient version, which is awesome. I still love it very, very much. I don't know if the pacing is going to get less interesting because I've only just got out of Midgar in the original one. And I had a great time and I've really enjoyed it, apart from some of the sound effects, but really, really good. And I've got certain things that I'm doing in that with roles. Like I've decided Red is going to be my healer in Classic for reasons. For reasons. It's not how I did it the first time I played it through all those years ago, but it's how I'm going to do it this time. But then I go on to Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is the telling of the up to leaving Midgar bit in the supposed trilogy of recent games, and it's also brilliant. I love it to pieces. I love the way that they have stayed so faithful and expanded on it and changed it a little bit. So some people will like get their back up if I say that the remake is faithful, because it's different in many ways. It adds some fluff and it adds some reason to deviate from the story. So it's not faithful, but it's full of fan service, like extreme detailed fan service. I'm not talking like weird porny things, but just when you see the way that things play out in exactly the same way with so much more attention to detail, and you see the way that they take like tiny minor bit part characters and flesh them out to be better realized, that kind of fan service, and it's really, really good. And then there's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that I'm also playing, which I'm not streaming. So Classic and Remake I stream a lot on the Asa Games channel, which if you're not subscribed to, which most of you aren't, subscribe over there for some game streaming. Rebirth I wasn't streaming because I've just been paying too close attention to the story. It's not one that I've ever played before, but I'm about 65 hours into that as well. Still haven't finished it. But then it's adding to the confusion, because then I've got the same characters with the same combat style as they have in Remake, but fleshed out with additional moves. But I've got different moves available for them, so I'm like, oh, Cloud can do this move on this button, and then I play the other game and I've switched it around. I'm like, nah, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. It's all so confusing. But I love them dearly. Except I'm on a terrible section of Rebirth. If you've followed Q&Asa at all in the past, and I've talked about Final Fantasy VII, it's a love-hate thing that I have for Rebirth, because when it's telling its story and when it's moving forwards, I adore it. It's brilliant. It's such a good game. And then when Chadley reveals new regions, points of interest to you, I freaking hate it. And I'm in a freaking hate it section at the moment. which is a shame because I was on such a high with it like a week ago. You wanted purple, but you got lemon, lemsip, and it burnt your tongue. That is bad news. And Takada, you're right. 3 Final Fantasies, like, does make me a glutton for punishment, but actually it's quite restrained because really I also owe Tony a Final Fantasy 15 playthrough. I myself, all 3 of the Final Fantasy 13 games and Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 9, probably 12, maybe 10, but that's fresher, and definitely Final Fantasy 6. So really, and also stuff like Lost Odyssey that doesn't really count, but is really, you know, still Final Fantasy. So actually, I'm being quite restrained and quite sensible by only playing 3 of them. Good thing about follower dungeons is there are no assholes because they're AI. Yeah, the follower dungeons in Final Fantasy 14 though, it's a lot more boring than playing with real people. It's better than playing with assholes, absolutely. But it's not the same as playing a multiplayer game. It's very wooden and rigid and strange. I've only done the low-level dungeons with followers, but it was quite mind-numbing to go through it in that way. So, like, I'm kind of glad that it's there. I'm also not, because I would much rather the way that old MMOs like forced a community feeling and like had you talk to people, but it's just a shame that when you do that in the new ones, so many people are dickheads that it's not actually fun. It's a problem that no programmer and developer can solve. World of Warcraft introduced them recently, didn't it, just for the Dragonflight ones? Or have they expanded it? Does that cover all of the dungeons now? Because that would make a difference to me, I think. Much as I say I don't like doing them with the followers, I really don't like World of Warcraft community. And it's a sad thing, because realistically, most of the people playing it are probably fine and good. But the people that are fine and good are completely silent, because that's just what decent people do in that environment, because they know that everybody's an arse. All this MMO garbage. Oh, Flush, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. Definitely hard to maintain alongside regular games, though. Yeah, I think they said that they're going to add more, Cullen Prime. I just don't know where. But yeah, in those games, modern ones at least, decent people are silent. So the majority of people are silent and probably very nice. And the arseholes are loud and just bleh, and I just don't have the patience or willpower to endure them and to humour them. So I just don't play those games. Takada, you remember when Star Wars The Old Republic reworked the dungeons? Stopped running them? So I did play that one a bit, but not through any rework of any dungeons and stuff. You found some sorbet to cure your burnt tongue. Good, Isla, good. So, gas is a black hole as well. It is, Flush. It is. I'd rather spend a whole heap of time in a World of Warcraft than in a Fortnite. But it's not so different, really. It's not so different. Final Fantasy 14 is your longest game, 13 days, since Elder Scrolls Online, which has 111 days of game time, and you're not bored of it yet. You're not bored of Elder Scrolls Online, or you're not bored of Final Fantasy? My Warcraft time would be pretty scary if I were to add it up across characters. So I'm not going to. Not going to. I reckon I've probably got your 111 days fairly well beat. And I don't even like Warcraft. I love Warcraft 3, but I don't really... Never entirely got along with World of Warcraft. Takada could run them solo, not so much fun for a healer. Oh, in the Star Wars one, yeah. And Flush even, Helldivers 2 didn't grab you for more than a month or so. I don't think... I'm surprised that that game lasted as long as it did, and it hasn't... It's definitely faded a lot now. And that's not a knock on Helldivers, because it was a fun game. I played it yesterday with Tony, actually, who's just arrived. Hello, Tony. Good morning. I like Helldivers, and it's fun. But it doesn't have those dark patterns and hooks that Fortnite has to keep you coming back and back and back and back, which I consider a good thing. That's a positive. That makes me like the game more. But it doesn't make me play the game more. doesn't make me log in, doesn't make me turn up. I like that. I wish more games were kind of respectful in that way, in that they didn't try and force you to be there through the whole of it. Pop into the shop, you're gonna be 5 minutes. No worries, James. You go to the shop quite often. You should get more stuff. Get more stuff so you don't have to go as often, or get like delivery. You're in the UK. Get everything delivered. I'll be happy enough if Helldivers just stays quietly adding content, keeping its little social events going and entertaining the people that do want to play all the time. And I just pop onto it every 2 or 3 months just to see what's what, play with some friends. That's a good service game to me. I'm happy with that. If it tells me I've got a daily login streak, if I can log in like certain number of days in a row, then I get a fancy hat and all of that kind of crap, then I'll get upset and probably never touch it. But I don't think it does that so far. After EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot, no MMO's really captured your time like that. And that's a time that I'm going back to as well, Dakado. But it was different, right? Because you knew loads of people on that server that you were playing on. Those games forced community rather than streamlining all of the multiplayer experience. Which is, again, the streamlining that they do in those more modern ones is good design, in theory. You couldn't very easily take it out and have the player base not be upset, because it is well executed, good design, but it took something away as well. EverQuest was the OG rabbit hole, mostly why MMOs just don't do it for you anymore. Yeah, I didn't actually do EverQuest, and I barely touched Dark Age of Camelot, but I did dabbled a little bit in that one. I liked Asheron's Core 2 was my main one. They're all super formulaic. Yes, they are. Because, I mean, it's the same with normal game design when you talk about the Sony template and the Ubisoft template and all these kind of things that are familiar. Yeah. From a publisher point of view and developer point of view, it would almost be negligent to ignore the data. That's all the formulas are. They're just seeing what works and doing more of it and iterating over time. So it's like an inevitable direction for game design, particularly when there's loads of money on the line, is to follow what works. And they followed what works so much so that a certain amount of magic gets lost. That's true of MMOs, and it's true of AAAs and all the rest of it. So, not that I hate playing games or anything like that. It's still awesome, but once you start to recognize the formula, and it's the same for movies as well. It's not just games. Like, you watch a Marvel movie and the tone and pacing of the jokes is like, yeah, I've seen this movie many, many times. You're telling me a slightly different story, but you are following a formula. Inevitable. EverQuest was such a janky game, but you could bend the rules in creative ways to get shit done. World of Warcraft was very cut and dry. Yeah, World of Warcraft was always made to be, like even its initial release, that people look back on and go, oh, I remember when it was difficult and all the rest of it. It was always made to be easy and streamlined relative to other MMOs. That was how it found its success in the first place. Other ones were way more janky, way more rough around the edges, and potentially way more difficult. Kind of the same for survival games though. This is why I still expect someone to come along and really nail the survival genre by polishing off the edges and keeping what's fun about it. The EverQuest Bard was the king of breaking the game. What did an EverQuest Bard do? Bards in all kind of Dungeons and Dragons based experiences are a weird one to get right. What could they do? I remember playing a Bard in the Lord of the Rings online. They were like a secondary healer kind of thing, but it was quite weird. Everything was weird. Anyway, that's enough MMOs. This is like me talking about virtual reality the whole time. It upsets people. Some people are into this stuff and some people aren't. Gotta keep things moving, eh? Gotta keep things moving. Just about every class had some game-breaking shit at times. Did EverQuest have much of a focus on killing each other? It's the other thing that negates cool design or game-breaking shit, as you say. is when you have to balance it to work against other players. Go into a plane and watch them kite kill a zone. Yeah. Did have PvP, it was cutthroat. They all do have some element of it, but I actually really hate this. Is a really minor. In fact, no, I'm not even going to do it. I'll do an MMO deep dive conversation at some point, but today is not the day for it because I got shit to fix. Broke stuff. I'm not equipped to do community games at the moment. I've got things that I need to fix before 9 o'clock. So let's talk about raiding on PvP servers was a constant hell ride. Guilds leapfrogging each other, fighting mobs and each other at the same time. That's good fun though. Like that stuff didn't need to be mechanically well balanced in the same way that a World of Warcraft needs to be, because it's arena combat that was more rock paper scissors, more intimate, or more balanced. The realm v realm stuff it was just part of the jank, and it was funny. It was close enough to up to people, still follow codes and rules. My throat's tickling. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Nothing really. Have my throat tickling. So topics today. Actual ones, obviously just talking about games is still the main. Ultima Online, yeah, I never did that one either. Should have done. It's weird, I didn't this is how easily sidetracked I am. I didn't get into MMO RPGs on PC until after I was introduced to the concept of an online grind through, any guesses? I've said before, so some of you all know the answer, but what is the game that set that direction, set me on that path, set me into online RPGs? I'm going to leave that one hanging and carry on with what I was talking about on topics and things, which was, so we've had a Nintendo Direct. I haven't spoken about that. The main place that I would have had any words about that would have been the Arcadia Roundtable on the Tuesday, but we didn't do that this week, so. Not Astron's Call, no, the game that led me, so prior to Astron's Call, Flush. I'll give you a massive hint on it. This was before I had a PC. There are two games that led me down the path of PC gaming. Name them both. One's an RPG and one is not. So yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct. And ordinarily... Yes, Flush. Phantasy Star Online. And there was a different game that led me onto online competitive shooters. See if you can name that one as well. You're on the right platform now, so you'll probably get it quickly. The... Ordinarily on Q&Asa, if you've never seen it before, normally if there's trailers and things to talk about, I would bring them up in a little window over there. It's all fancy, it's very nice to do. In fact, I wonder what the button does. Absolutely nothing. Normally there will be a trailer playing there. There is no trailer playing there because I've broken things. Yes, Phantasy Star Online and Quake 3 Arena, those are the games that led me into online gaming in general. My path into PC gaming in the online space was Quake 3 was very easy. I just went, oh, Quake 3 is bigger and better on the PC. On it. So I got Quake 3 on the PC. Phantasy Star Online was slightly different. That wasn't on the PC at the time. That made me go into, well, I can't remember if it was a game or an electronics boutique at the time, but the local video game store, to look at the shelf and the box art and pick a game that looked like it might have a good MMO grind experience. And what I found was Astron's Call 2. Bought 2 copies of that. Played it. Good times. And yes, we do need a new thing with the new Quake, Flush, is we can't have it. We can't have a new arena shooter, or we can, but it won't ever see success because gamers need progression systems and matchmaking now, or the game will just be rejected for being too light in content. So it is an era that has passed, although you can still play Quake 3 Arena in virtual reality, which takes away an awful lot of what made it good, but adds a whole lot of different stuff to keep it still awesome. I do recommend trying that if you've got a Quest 3. In fact, all of the Team Beef stuff, there's a bunch of guys called Team Beef, and they've done some freaking incredible work on the Quest 3 in terms of giving you the old boomer shooters. in virtual reality. So you can play all of the Doom 1, 2, and 3, Quake 1, 2, and 3, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Jedi Knight Academy, whatever it is, like a whole bunch of stuff they've done, as well as a load of the modded experiences and other things that were done on those same engines, and it is so good. So good. But the Quake 3 Arena is the full online game. To jump on a server and shoot other people. Obviously it's hit and miss on whether there's anybody around. You're better off getting onto the Gaming Arcadia Discord and actually trying to arrange something to get people there at the same time, but it's fun. Even just doing it against the bots is an experience. So, looking at box art to figure out what you're going to purchase. Yes, Flush Jackson. I wasn't completely without direction, because I did read the various paper magazines to see what games were coming out, but more console centric on the magazines. Just looking at box art. Oh, it's a fine way to browse. Does my t-shirt say meh? Does it mean manly enormous hunk? It does say meh. Does not mean that, Tony. It does not mean that. Thank you for playing Helldivers with me last night. That was fun. Tony's actually recommended a new game as well. I can't bring a trailer up for it. He found a weird little experience, a co-op experience. Don't know how many players it supports, but some of the trailer stuff had at least 4 people. Where you're all tied together by chains and you have to try and navigate out of hell by making perilous jumps. But if your coordination's off, then you'll hinder each other and die. So we're going to test our perfect coordination and play that soon. It's only like 3 or 4 quid, so looking forwards to it. If I can get my PC working, then maybe we'll get onto that at some point this week. Can't remember what it was called. Tony, do you remember what it was called? Flush, you've technically been on PC for so long you can't remember any reason in particular other than it was there in some capacity. Yeah, for me it was the online direction. Like I say, the Dreamcast opened my eyes to a world of possibilities, and PC had those possibilities more fleshed out. And I spent a lot of time actually. I really liked. So I went from the Dreamcast to the PC, and the PC was always there in the background across new consoles and things, but I would get the consoles. And the Xbox 360 was the one that pulled me away for the longest, in that I played games on that for 2 or 3 years. But after the 2 or 3 years, I very much fell into PC space and ignored consoles almost entirely for at least 3 years. And then at the tail end of the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation, I had a massive console catch-up binge. And I've managed to balance my time fairly well since. That's not true, I'm friggin' awful at balancing my time, but it's split across many platforms. I'll say that much. How's it going, Dave Mack? Oh, that reminds me actually. I don't know why Dave Mack in particular has reminded me. I see Dave Mack and I think Forza. So games-wise, we've got 2 community streams this weekend. I think tomorrow is going to be the safe bet, Forza Motorsport and Halo Infinite. Which means today, though, it's an open negotiation. I think we're probably going to start, assuming that I can fix my PC and be capable of playing games, we're going to start with Forza Horizon, because that's a nice easy way to get people on board. But I'm taking suggestions for what to play afterwards. Chronic had mentioned Fall Guys, and Fall Guys isn't impossible, but I do hate Fall Guys, but I do hate Forza as well. I hate all of the games. So, more suggestions the better. I don't hate all of the games. Takada, you're just glad that so much is going to PC now. Yeah. Indeed. I still like the consoles more than a lot of people though. More than the entirety of the Xbox community. There are very few of them still enjoying their consoles, but I actually do. Don't ever think of you when I'm thinking of Forza. Why, Dave? You're an expert. Well, you're at least a competitor for winning the races. There's a few other people that are up there with you, depending on who turns up. Plus, you've had just about everything minus a few handhelds and not all the Sega hardware, but your friends had it, and your Wii and your Wii U. Just, James, you remember the old days when you used to go to Blockbuster to buy random games. 2 games that you had. The 2 games like that no one did is Risen and Two Worlds. Yeah, Risen and Two Worlds, were they in the Blockbuster era? I used to ride my bicycle to Blockbuster to rent various games, and then ride my bicycle home. It was a fair old way. And I got to play lots of things. Good times. Was it good times? Obviously, I'd prefer to just be able to like download something on Game Pass and have a bash like that, but you know, being outside on a bike, doing kid things, and still getting to play my video games, what a dream. You still have the last Blockbuster here. What? Doxing yourself then, because that's got to be very specific. Ricardo, you're happy with Xbox, but you have friends who don't PC and prefer playing on the same platform. You're happy with Xbox, but you have friends who don't PC and you prefer playing on the same platform as them. I'm gonna say yes because I'm confused. But yeah, I legitimately use all of them apart from I don't use the Switch very much, but even then I actually do want to, I just don't have time. It's just last on the list. It makes sense. What makes sense? I'm only lost on, if you're talking about Ricardo's message, I'm only confused on he's happy with Xbox, but he has friends who don't PC. By playing on the same platform. You're happy with Xbox because your friends don't like the PC, so it keeps you happy. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways to read it that do make sense, but something's not clicking in my brain, and that's a me problem, so don't worry about it. You prefer to play the game on the same platform, which is Xbox. I still actually I think, is this true? Yeah, this is true. Some games really push like visual fidelity and push hardware boundaries and all the rest of it. And those I'll play on the PC because the ceiling is higher and I can push higher fidelity, higher frame rates and all the rest of it. But there's a lot of games that don't need the extra hardware, that don't make any relevant use of it. And I really like the Xbox for those games. Like Octopath Traveler 2, I could play that on the PC, I could play it on the Xbox. I'm going to play it on the Xbox because I can't see any advantage to playing it on the PC, and on the Xbox I can quick resume it. So it's just it's a nice console to use. It's snappy and fast. Has good features. Yeah. Whereas if you give me, I don't know, Forza Horizon 5, I'm going to play that one on the PC today because then I can enable all of the ray tracing and make it even prettier. So anyway, what else are we going to talk about? So I talked about Nintendo Direct. I didn't. I said I'm going to talk about Nintendo Direct, and then I didn't talk about it at all. I'm kind of disappointed that I can't play the trailers for it. Maybe I can. Can I be bothered to fix this with a temporary? Nah, too many button presses. So the Nintendo Direct, what do we think of it? I've seen various people say that it was brilliant and it was the best thing across all of the fake E3. And it was better than the Xbox show and all the rest of it. But then they say that it's because of Zelda and Metroid Prime. And I don't understand the mindset. But what about you? Who saw things that they liked in Nintendo Direct? The one that I really don't get is Metroid Prime 4 and why people are pretending that it looked really good. Like, it looked like an Xbox 360 game with some scripted events going on. That might be cool, but it's not like, whoa, this is the best thing I've ever seen. It's like, yo, this is a thing that I've been seeing for the last 15 years or so. Cool. And it might just be that I don't have a big affinity with Metroid, and maybe if that game had been like, even if that had been a Halo game, I would have been disappointed. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know why people are so excited by it. I get that the hardware is old, and like there's good reason why it doesn't look cutting edge, because obviously it's not cutting edge. But it's not even, I'm not talking about how high resolution and crisp the textures are going to be, or how bold the lighting is, or anything like that. I'm talking about mechanically. What I saw there of a game was what we've been seeing since like the first Half-Life. No, you walk along a ledge and there's some fighting on the floor below. Yeah, first person shooters do that. All of them do that. What? It looked like a PS2, PS3 game. Well, everything was like, some of the levels were reasonably open. The ones that they didn't really show gameplay for, but Barry, you're excited for Zelda even though you can't afford it like all the other Switch games besides Tears of the Kingdom. You wish they had a Game Pass. I wish they had a Game Pass too, or at least that they put their games on sales. I'm still waiting to play Breath of the Wild. Ricardo, they should have just waited and built for Switch 2. I agree, but if you gave me that trailer and you remastered it or whatever, like just completely faked the trailer to show what that game would look like on good hardware, it was still not anything to write home about. Like, the stuff that played out in front of my eyes was okay. Whoa, there's a barrel rolling down in front of me. I've never seen such a thing. I don't know. I don't get it. And it's weird because of all of the Nintendo games, it's not a secret. I'm not a massive Mario fan, right? Don't care for Mario. I'm not a big Zelda fan. I'm indifferent to it. I don't hate it like I hate Mario, but it doesn't excite me either as a world. And that might change because I haven't done Breath of the Wild yet. I'm open to a Zelda game. Don't care for Kirby. Don't care for Pokemon. I'm kind of curious, but don't really care for it. Like the staple Nintendo characters don't do a lot for me. And the one that is most interesting is Metroid. Metroid is like, well, you've got Nintendo's Master Chief. And it's a girl. Cool, that's fine. That seems like an interesting sci-fi universe. I don't know a lot about it, but very surface level. Your weird cartoony Iron Man character might be my favorite Nintendo character. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a go. Apart from obviously them being Metroidvania games, I'm probably going by the name largely responsible for the whole of the Metroidvania genre of games. But the Prime games aren't. The first-person shooter ones are like, oh, could be a Nintendo game made for me. But it was just not anything there. I was hoping that one of you would be a massive Metroid Prime fan and would tell me how good it is and what makes it special, or what stood out in that trailer. Plus, you're still waiting for their other Wii ports to go on sale, like Tropical Freeze. Yeah, so I had a Wii, but I didn't play much on it. I had a Wii U as well. Can we all agree that Samus is hot? I don't know what Samus looks like. I couldn't conjure a mental image of Samus in my head. I've not seen enough Metroid material. Couldn't even have told you that she was blonde. Just know that, like, in the trailer, she had stolen Iron Man's colours. I don't know if that's historically consistent. Like, if in all the previous Metroid games she was also dressed like Iron Man with the red and gold. Kirby. Yeah. Star Fox would be like... I really only remember Star Fox from a gameplay perspective. Last game that you bought for the Switch was the Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I really want to play all 3 Xenoblade games. Or all of the Switch library. The Xenoblade games and Astral Chain. And Breath of the Wild. They're like Bravely Default 2 and Triangle Strategy are high on my list as well, but you can get those on PC and stuff, so they don't really count. But the Nintendo stuff, Xenoblade stuff, absolutely. I don't list Fire Emblem because I've already done 3 houses. I haven't done the Fire Emblem Engage or whatever it was called, so that should be on the list, but I'm not convinced that that's actually going to be good. I should fire it up and actually play some Nintendo stuff, and I will at some point. Then there's the Zelda game. So Metroid Prime, I've said blah 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 blah, I've been all negative on. I'm actually it's still the game that I'm probably most interested in, but I just wasn't impressed by the trailer. Unicorn Overlord is on your... Yeah, but Unicorn Overlord is again not like Nintendo, right? Unicorn Overlord is on everything. It's even on Xbox. We're all into Nintendo games here, but we're all broke. Yes, that's... Well, no, Barry, I don't reckon we all are. I reckon there's some people that are doing alright for themselves. I hope so. Hope so. Oh, Unicorn... Yeah, you're right, Flush. Unicorn Overlord is not on PC. Developer said they'd like to, but the publisher has no interest. The game attached to new cards. Well, I'll be on Gaz's show later. No, I won't be on Gaz's show later. I'll be doing community games here. We're going to play Forza Horizon and some other things. So what else was in the Nintendo Direct that I actually did care about? So the Zelda game didn't do a lot for me. I liked the I liked the concept of being able to duplicate all of the things. I don't know how restrictive it was. If you can duplicate anything and everything, it didn't look like it. It looked like there were a certain number of objects that were marked for your catalogue of things to be able to create. And every time they showed it in the trailer, you never saw them create more than like 4 of any item. So I don't know what the kind of limits and restrictions are in creativity there, but the idea is all right. It also looked very slow and very cumbersome. The game adaptation news cards. We could at some point. Maybe something will happen, but maybe it won't. I couldn't say. What was the Dimension Zero game? Oh, so that one, Flush. That's coming to everything. You mean the Fantasian one, right? From Hironobu Sakaguchi and the music guy. That kind of looked underwhelming. So I was interested in it because it's created by the creator of Final Fantasy and Lost Odyssey. But the trailer didn't... Yeah, that fella, Flush. And it's a hell of a combo. When those two get together to make a game, you end up with something like Lost Odyssey. So you can look at it as the Final Fantasy series and its reputation and all the rest of it and go, wow, maybe they were brilliant. But if they can then go and form a new studio and execute on the same kind of level, at that point you can really attribute the success to them and say, actually, these people are responsible for this. These are the reason that Final Fantasy was good. They've got the talent. They've gone and made just as good a game elsewhere. So I'm going to follow everything they do forevermore. But saying that, this Fantasian game didn't look all that good. They did a weird game on the Wii as well that I never got to play. I never even realized they did it. I heard of it for the first time like a week and a half ago, and now I've forgotten what it was called already. So you're like, why did this game not go big time? It should have done, but it just looked... It's a sequel to the game that they put on Apple Arcade, something like that in a way. They went mobile, they did their weird terror thing, like they went properly off the rails exploring the mobile market. And this is their entry back into the console space, but you never know, it might still be brilliant. It was stuck on the Apple Store, yeah. And I still got an eye on it because it does still have those people working on it. But it doesn't appeal as much as going back and playing Lost Odyssey again at the moment. He just randomly remembered a cringe memory from 10 years ago. Burn it with Lemsip. What else? It says the Dragon Age stuff. Not Dragon Age, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 3 and the announcement of the trilogy and confirmation that a good order to play them in is Dragon Quest 3, then 1, then 2. Definitely a terrible naming scheme, even before you get into the 2D HD 2D nonsense that Square Enix are trying to push on everybody. Half the people you went to university would seem to think that the word was interpretate. That is a word. Don't make me interpretate. Okay, no, it's not a word. I didn't say anything about interpreting anything, though. How did I remind you of that? I don't think I'm responsible for this bad memory at all. Good. I weren't interested in speedrunning the NES Championships. I actually think that's cool, Flush. I think that's a cool idea. I'm not a speedrunner, and I'm definitely not like looking to buy that as a product. So it was really specific challenges from a whole host of old Nintendo games, but it let you do them in quite interesting ways. It's a weird one because it tells you how to do them, doesn't it? It gives you like little ghost runs and demos of the method to speedrun a certain section of a game or potentially an entire game. And then you just try and copy it and do high score stuff, but you could do it through like global high scores, friends high scores and all the rest of it, or you could do it in a live elimination thing where there's 16 of you and half of you are eliminated or whatever. I think that's actually neat. I'm not a speedrunner and it's not for me, but I like it as a project. And maybe I'll force people to do it on a community night at some point, if it's easy to get hold of. But I prefer I don't like the idea of these are cracked speedruns, things that people have done before and you're just supposed to copy and get the method right. That's possibly less fun than figuring things out for yourself. Just trying to copy someone else's actions. You're going to play Dragon Quest. I'm also going to play Dragon Quest. I'm going to play 3, I'm going to play 1, I'm going to play 2, assuming that I like them at all, but I suspect that I will. I should try and finish Dragon Quest 11 at some point as well. But that was a standout as a game that I'll probably get from the Nintendo lot. The other one was Mario Party Jamboree or whatever they called it. Because that's coming up for our community game nights. That had 20 player online stuff and 110 odd mini games to get through. So that's screaming for us all to get on there and play it together. And hopefully get a nice variety of nonsense things to get through. And obviously they opened the show with Mario and Luigi in a game that looked kind of fucking awful. Awful. So I won't be playing that one. Even though Tony's been looking for more co-op games, that was not the one. The word of the direct was brothership. Yes, it was. I really wish this was like a Nintendo retelling of Brothers Tale of Two Sons. And one of them dies. Wouldn't it be moving? One of the brothers is lost forever. It's not spoilers, Hyla. Just saying that's what I would like to happen in this Mario game. Doesn't say it's co-op. It must be co-op. It looked co-op. Yeah. You don't think it is? I think it is. I think it will be. I know a lot of the scenes had them performing different actions, and one of them was the A button and one of them was the B button, but there were other things that really looked like it was asking for two people to be in control. Fine, Tony, if it's co-op, I'll play it with you. Stop begging, fuck's sake. Right, let's do, like I say, I've got to finish sharpish by 8:30 today so I can fix things ready for the stuff. Nintendo hasn't been good for 25 years. You've got no time for them. So much potato. No lethal migraine. You were doing so well. I can handle the anti-Nintendo sentiment, but not pretending that potato's better. Come on. What else was there? So we had the Nintendo Direct. We talked about loads of games. I don't know. Throw a topic at me. Carter, you think it's co-op for your brain by controlling two characters? It looked like it was playable by yourself if you wanted to. I still expect that you'll be able to do both, but I'm not excited either way. So, what else? I've not got anything else. I think what we might do, because like I said, I do have a lot to fix before the 9 o'clock games. Oh, we haven't talked about that yet. Who's nobody shouted out what you want to play. So we're going to start with Forza Horizon 5 because that's nice and easy. We can jump on. Wayne's got the weird movie car pack, so we can all. I've only got one question. Oh. You want to play Minecraft? You can play Minecraft, that's fine. Lethal Migraine, you have respect for Nintendo if they quit being so awful and put Mario Kart, for example, everywhere. Yeah, that would be nice. But they are 20 years behind everybody else on that kind of stuff, so... you've got another 16 years to wait until you get cross-platform Mario Kart. I lost something. I had something in mind. Oh yeah, so the game. So we're going to start with Forza Horizon and then we'll see from there. Out of curiosity, what have I done to break my setup today? I don't know, Chronic. I don't know. My PC has stopped recognizing my TV as a monitor. It's just not letting me. Not letting me use it. But my for a normal person, that would be like a cable between the PC and the monitor. No problem. Not much to look at, not much to fix. For me, that cable goes into 3 different splitters and 4 different capture cards as well as the TV. So it's a little bit complicated to find out where the chain is broken. The fact that I have this ridiculous chain is why it is broken, but it is broken. So got me thinking about that now. Excuse my face. My face is going to do troubleshooting weird expressions while I think it through. Try not to think it through because I don't want to do that. Let's do the one question. If you've got more questions that you want to add, because the questions do kind of drive this show normally, I do address all of them. If you want to stick something in there, then do. Tony, you're going to play Minecraft VR with Isla. So I'm going to play Minecraft with Isla. It's her birthday coming up and that's what she wants to do as part of it. So I'm going to play some of it regularly. I'm also, Tony, genuinely quite interested in seeing the game properly, because I do think like the survival stuff is kind of intriguing. So I'm going to have a look at it anyway, and then part of that will be to jump in and like play it properly in pancake mode to get some shit done. I wouldn't get any shit done in VR, but once I've got shit done, then I would have a look at what it looks like in VR. Someone was Chronic was saying, Tony, that T-Rex was playing it in VR and having a wonderful time with the giant blocks. Lethal Migraine, do I watch any other YouTubers? Good question. No, not really. I watch ACG if I need any reviews or anything, or for podcasts and stuff. And that's about it. There's a few that I'll try and pop in on. Stuff like Season Gaming, I'll see what they're up to and things, but I don't watch a lot on YouTube. I don't have time to watch a lot on YouTube. I watched, so Luke Law on the Xbox Expansion podcast had an interview with Cliff Blazinski that I watched. Every now and again, if I'm at work or something and I've got time to spare, then I'll listen to YouTube more so than I'll watch it. T-Rex liked it. It's funny he asked you about it, so you worked it out this morning. What did you give him? Did you give him the Quest 3 Java thing? Or did you set it up on your PC? Because both things are viable. You can play Minecraft natively on a Quest 3, which is a port of the Java version. Or you can play the official version on the PC, or you can play the Java version on the PC. There's lots that you can do. Quest 3 through the PC wired. Lethal Migraine, it was a good interview until Cliff Blazinski said that he wants to play as a child in Gears of War E-Day, doing stealth. Lost me at that point. That was right at the end of it though, so. Right, let's do then. Can I tell you about the mods that have been added? So the mods on there, Isla, there's only 3, 3.5. There's a resource pack, which is for the ray tracing. It's got Myths and Dragons was one of them. So Minecraft, if you don't know, a couple of months ago they introduced like supported mods, an official creator store, mod store, whatever. All the mods that are on there are supposed to be like, they'll maintain compatibility with them in future versions. So it's like the Bethesda Creator Club kind of mods, an official place to get curated, tested mods. A resource pack is not a mod. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But not in Minecraft terms, it's not. So that's why I say 3.5. It's got a resource pack to modify all of the textures. It's got myths and dragons, which adds some mythical creatures and dragons, I guess. It's got something about mob armor, so you can make armor sets from various creepers and zombies and whatever, I don't know. It's got one other, a magic spells one, so you can cast more magic spells. To hopefully make the combat side of it more dynamic, but we'll see. I've not added a lot to it. I was quite light touch with the mods. But it'll be there. What else? Next question, please. No, first question, please. Oh, it's already up. Wait. What is my favourite or best year of gaming and why? Who dares ask this? Gaming with Passion, Demon Hunter. It's this year. And I shall tell you why. Can't count. Pete, it's the end. More or less. Get some questions in. It's right at the end. Gaming with Passion. I'm really bad at attributing games and memories to any particular year. So I don't know. I view time as like past, present and future. But past in particular, that's it. That's a singular. It's not right now, it's already happened. And I can't place it more specifically than that very easily. So that makes it hard to find my favourite or best year of gaming. Because I can't tell them apart at all. I remember this year because it's happening right now. This year is fantastic. Pretty decent start. Ton coming in the next 6 months. I remember a lot of people saying last year was fantastic as well. I had like loads of games in February and March and all the rest of it. I don't know. 2008 to 2010, somewhere in there. What was in there, Isla? What gamers got you to say that? It's weird though, because the years that were my favourites, the years where I had the most fun, weren't necessarily that rich in games. All it would take is like one game that I was actually into, and I'd be having as much fun as if there were 20 games that were just quite good. So you give me like a Quake 3 Arena at its peak when I was playing it all of the time, I would have been happy just playing that one game. Same for when I was like properly into like a single MMORPG or whatever. I was having a good time. And it's not that makes it a great year for the industry. It's just that it was, you know, relaxed, stress-free, doing something I enjoyed. Different way to engage with games that I don't think I could do anymore, but it was happy. Dakota, Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age Origins were the same year or two, were they? Don't know. I couldn't place those or tell you which one came first. I would have thought Dragon Age Origins was older than Mass Effect 2, but that's only through like kind of remembering what the games looked like and stuff, and it could be a complete false memory. When was Little Big Planet 3? 3 wasn't the one that you liked. Nobody liked Little Big Planet 3. This is going to be your worst year of gaming, isn't it? Because it was so disappointing. Okay, you did like 3. I'm only messing. I don't know. Other people answer that one though. Other people that remember better than me. What was the best year of gaming? 3 had no story, and it lacked the tone and humour of 1 and 2 as well. It tried. It was like the Borderlands pre-sequel. Tried, but missed. So, I don't know. There were loads of games that I loved, loads of times that I've loved in the past, and there will be more. I completely forgot to mention Blade and Sorcery is out properly now. If you've got virtual reality, actually, I'm assuming that it's out on the Quest at the same time, because Blade and Sorcery's early access was on the Quest as well, but it was a different version. It was Nomad. At the very least on the PC, the full version 1 release candidate game, Blade and Sorcery with its Crystal Hunt game mode is available. I haven't played it yet because I'm a massive fraud, but Blade and Sorcery is one of my favorite things to do in VR. So I will be on it and streaming it at some point over the next week because I love it. It's supposed to be really damn good. Really damn good in terms of it was already moment to moment brilliant, but now it has some structure and direction and lots of new cool things you can do. So again, can't bring up any kind of trailer because I broke everything. I'm just going to pretend. Whoa, imagine this is filled with a Blade and Sorcery trailer. 1998 was really good. What came out in 1998? When's Dungeons of Eternity? Chronic, you need to ask while I'm not doing this, but it'll be soon. Have you played it yourself? Are you able to play Dungeons of Eternity without getting sick or tired? I played it with Tony once and he struggled to... He can't do that like more visceral, more active motion-based VR for very long, and a lot of people can't. He's not got his VR legs yet, and he just kept dying. So, he says he can, but he's lying. I was there, Tony. But if you two are up for some Dungeons of Eternity, then we'll get some of that in as well. Travel sickness tablets, yes, Chronic. That's the secret shortcut to get able to survive. That 4 or 5. Wait, I've still got my fake trailer window open. Go away, you. Got to be other Quest stuff that we're supposed to do, and PC VR stuff. My favourite thing that I never find time for. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse because I need to... Oh, I need to fix my life, which is going to involve a lot of hours. A lot of hours. Going to take away a lot of hours that I do for games and things. But Game with Passion, Tekken, Half-Life, Street Fighter 03, Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye 007, Resident Evil 2, Gran Turismo, Tomb Raider 3, Banjo-Kazooie, Metal Gear Solid, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Yeah, I mean that's a strong list of games. Not all of them. You got Metal Gear Solid. And actually, I liked the first Metal Gear Solid. Probably the last stealth game that I played, but. Bet there's more than that. Bet there's some stuff in 1998 that I played that's not on that list. Because there's nothing Sega there. And Sega was still alive. What's for? Oh, we've got some more questions. Okay. We're doing it. Pete, have I just had a haircut? No, I haven't. I need a haircut. I'm getting a haircut this weekend. Thanks. Pete, have you just had a haircut? Is there any chance that the golden age of gaming is still to come? Yes, absolutely there is, Pete. The medium is forever evolving. And whether big corporations are the ones that are going to steer us to good things or not is another question. But yeah, it's going to get bigger and better and cover more. It's going to blur the lines between gaming and other types of media in new ways as well to make it more broad, which some of that you may perceive to be negative, but it's not. There'll be some good things out of it as well. There'll be some shite. There'll be some money grabbing nastiness and commercialized bull crap, but we've got incredible games ahead of us. Convinced of that. Not convinced that the like the mainstream industry will always cater to people like me. That will be where the money is, but there'll be, at the very least, there'll be an underground scene that still does. I'm forever optimistic around games. I'm skeptical as fuck of big corporations, but forever optimistic about the medium itself. Pete, you've been loving humanity. Does that make you not normal? You're even thinking of buying the Talos Principle 2's DLC. Are you a puzzle game nut? Well, Pete, either you or Isla is abnormal in this scenario, because she was just saying earlier that she hates humanity. The Talos principle, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a puzzle game nut. If you like a type of game, you like a type of game. Question is, are you still using guides? I don't understand the joy of a puzzle game if you get the answers off of YouTube. And I know you don't always, I know you have a go at it, but did you get through the Talos Principle 2? Have you finished it? And did you guide your way through it? You puzzle game nut. Awful companies like Embracer make it hard to have faith in biggish corporates. Yeah, and that's a reasonable example. They're a weird one as well because it's it was really the brainchild of like one or two investment arseholes that just decimated a lot of companies and lives. But it's not just them, Embracer were an odd case, but all the rest of it, with your Candy Crushes and all the rest of it, chasing the nasty side of making as much money as possible will always be something that I'm kind of guarded against. Flush is fine, plenty of single player games to keep us busy when AI snake oil crashes the world economy. Yeah, that too. Nvidia, the most valuable company in the world at some point during the last week. I don't know if it's still true today, but that AI bubble is a big one. Gaming with passion, you don't like looking at guides for anything. You want to play the game, not watch a tutorial. Yeah, but I don't. See, I joke about it, and I've got a video on the Q&Asa series where I reprimand anyone that looks at guides, but really there are circumstances for it. Especially, there's situations where it can be detrimental because games have to be designed around the use of guides, and that can make them worse. But typically, somebody else looking at a guide to get what they want out of a game is fine. I'm only messing around when I tell Pete that he's not allowed to. I am quite stubborn about it myself. I won't look at guides until I'm completely done with the game. The only time that I'll look at a guide is if I've resolved to move on from a game and not play it anymore. At that point, I might have a little look to see if I've missed anything juicy. But otherwise, no. Pete, you still have some Talos Principle 2 to go. If you're really stuck, like a couple of hours stuck, then you'll look for clues rather than watch the whole thing. Like I say, Pete, I consider it cheating. I wouldn't do it for myself, but I also wouldn't dictate to you that you're playing it wrong if you're having a good time, so. Big data snake oil Xbox as a service? Or some other kind of X as a... The AAS is as a service. AI snake oil. The whole venture capital big tech shell game continues. Yes, it does, Flush. Does this podcast have an AI product or angle? That's me. I am an AI product and angle. Painful Discourse, you only look up guides for completion after beating a game. So the biggest example for me of using a guide, I very rarely do this, but it was Octopath Traveler. So I'd finished all 8 characters' stories, and the game tells you, like, it just name drops a couple of things, like maybe tenuous links between the 8 campaigns. If you finish the 8 campaigns in Octopath Traveler, the first one, there's not really any definitive link between them that's apparent. Just a couple of hints that maybe they're linked. And I finished that, and the game doesn't tell you that you've got more to do. It doesn't, like, it's just like, oh, you did it, good stuff. I was like, well, I'm not just gonna, I don't know, have I finished? And I typed in one of the names that it drops to see if there was more to it that I had missed, but it felt like I had missed something. And I had missed, it doesn't guide you to the ending, and it's so obtuse. When I read what you have to do to get to the end of that game, it's so obtuse and ridiculously, like, it's bad, it's terrible. The game is so good and so bad for this one reason. So I followed that to get through. Not to actually finish the game, but to actually unveil the fact that there is an end of the game to tackle. That it does tie the 8 stories together. Because you just had to do some really obscure side quests that were so easily missed for it to bother to tell you that there is a proper ending. I'm hoping that Octopath Traveler 2 does not have the same flaw. That's the best feeling when looking at a guide when you're like, I would have never figured that out. Yeah, flashlight. But I consider that a massive flaw of Octopath Traveler. Oh shit, it's 8:30. Are there any more questions? Thank you, James. You're a hero. James gets all of the points for today's show. Humanity allegedly is an 11-hour game and you've played 53 hours so far. Oh, Pete. Good. Good. Submit your stats. If not many people have played it, you can bust that average way up. Submit your stats. And then we'll know how many people have played it. There's one on screen right now. Oh no. Pete, when is the Nintendo show? We need Isla on screen. We might need to find some other way to get Isla on your screen. Like I say, I need to fix my life and get a full-time commitment elsewhere. Which means starting a Nintendo show would be a terrible idea on my part. So it's not cancelled, but I don't want to promise that it's coming really soon either. Saying that, I'll find some other reason to bring her to you through something that's less of a commitment, if that makes sense. So the Nintendo thing is still planned, but I need the dust to settle. I need to figure out what my time looks like. And Pete, you're getting plenty of awards that just over 1% of people have got. And Painful Discourse bit someone. Good. Good. Oh, you looked up the Lords of the Fallen final boss and you're pretty sure that he was glitching out and it turned out that he was. Okay, good. Not good. Bad. Pete, you don't check every week to see what the weekly free games are on Steam and Epic. Are you missing out? Yes. Steam doesn't have them. But Epic, yeah. Oftentimes they're just small indie things that you might have no interest in whatsoever. But a week or two ago they had Marvel's Midnight Suns, which you probably would like. That was from Fire Axis. It's got I don't know if you're interested in Marvel at all, Pete. I can't remember on that, but just from the studio that it came from, you'd probably be interested in seeing that game. Every now and again they have a big one, and every now and again the small ones might be good. So, and the Epic ones are free, no strings attached. Just go on there. Don't know how long that will last and when Epic will give up on trying to capture some share of the market, but it's not free like Games with Gold were free or PlayStation Plus games were free. It's actual free. Plus, you already bought Midnight Suns on the Steam sale. Thanks for nothing, Epic. Yeah, fuck you, Epic. Flush has already got that one. You did nothing for us. But yeah, it's worth looking. I don't look myself, but you should if you've got it installed. Problem with the Epic store is you don't want that nonsense auto launching, so you actually have to remember to go and check. Isla, the other day you had the urge to check the Nintendo store and you got some stuff cheap. Why didn't you tell me? I want to get stuff cheap. But not Klonoa, I've already got it. Chronic, Epic for sure. Steam does, but very rarely. Also, GOG sometimes gives away games, and Amazon Prime. Yeah, Amazon Prime's worth looking at as well. Steam is extremely rare. It'll just be for like special events. Like I think Steam did Tell Me Why might have been free. But that was specifically for like Pride celebration. They might occasionally do that kind of thing. As you can redeem an otherwise paid for game for free for a limited time. But they don't have it as a regular like event like Epic do. Lethal Migraine, you've got 432 games in your Epic library and you've purchased 0 of them. You are diligent. You are perhaps more of a robot than I am. Well done. I've got like 7, because that's how often I've remembered to check the Epic library, the Epic store. We have a Discord bot that notifies us of all the free shit in another server. Give me the name of that Discord bot, Flush, and maybe it'll go alert people in the deals channel on R1 soon. If I can get around to it. Tony taught you the way to find free games on Steam. Tony has not taught me any such thing. Tony hates me. It's very sad. Very sad. I barely killed him at all either. Pete, bad thinking, typo in question. If there was, I actually completely missed it. Episode 13, how's it going? Are you ready for some Forza Horizon? Have you built us some tracks? Have you set a moderate to small number of laps on said tracks? Good. So we're doing that at 9 o'clock. Oh shit, I've got to go. Are there any more questions? Tony? This is likely. I am forgetful. Questions may be answered. Okay, cool. We got to the end of those. What I need to do, like I say, I want to be there for 9 o'clock. I'll keep you updated and apprised and stuff, you know, on Discord. If I haven't got it fixed by 9 o'clock, then it will be coming soon. But yes, there will be Forza Horizon 5 and then on to whatever games seem fun as the evening goes on. So thank you for coming and watching the Saturday edition of Q&Asa. It is a Saturday show now, so it will be on for the coming weeks as well. For the foreseeable future, although I cannot see any of the future, so who knows how long that will last. Join the Discord and all the rest of it, and I will see you next time. Blah!